Not long after Maladroit Maladropped, weezer began uploading more demos to test out where the next record could go. These tracks, known as the Album 5 demos, were predominantly built around keyboards and synths. Take a guess as to what fans thought of them. Rivers' frustrations with public expectations certainly hit a peak around this time, plus he began smoking and drinking. But who do we all turn to when we find ourselves at a low point? Rick Rubin. Rick turned Rivers onto meditation, Vipassana specifically. The practice of meditation was a major turning point for Rivers, both as a person and songwriter. And so, with Rick Rubin as producer, the band scrapped the pre-existing demos and whipped up a bunch of new songs. Not only did these songs incorporate more input from the other bandmates, but Rivers' lyrics were more personal than what we had gotten on the past two albums. The band's fifth outing, Make Believe, was released in May 2005. It's now time for me to introduce a core commandment of the Weezer fandom, a question that has driven its disciples and various historians to madness. When did Weezer get bad? The answers to this given question can vary wildly. Maybe you think Weezer went bad after Matt Sharp left. Maybe it was some other record later down the line. Maybe you thought they were never good to begin with. But in all my research, if there's any record that represents that point where Weezer could officially do wrong, it's Make Believe. And more specifically, it's the album's lead single. Believe it or not, it took me a few years to realize Weezer were the ones behind Beverly Hills. I refer to that period of ignorance as the greatest time of my life, because this song kinda stinks. I believe Weezer shine in their simplicity, but Beverly Hills is simple to the point of patronizing. It's only 3 chords, but they're played like someone doing their taxes. The vocal melody is one note most of the time. Where I come from isn't all that great. The guitar solo would put you to sleep if not for that wah-wah pedal. And not only do the lyrics come off as cynical, but like the song was written about wanting to live in Beverly Hills and be among the superstars, and they were written by a guy who was living 20 minutes away from the place he said he wanted to be. You could maybe call it satire, and the band has said that it was meant to be tongue-in-cheek, but the final song doesn't feel like satire. It feels like it just is what it wants to satirize. Get a load of this. I just stabbed somebody on the street. But it's okay though, because it was a satire on how you shouldn't stab people on the street. Beverly Hills is not good, and it was their biggest hit since the 90s.